Welcome back, everyone, to another fully operational video cast. This time bringing you some of the UK Star Wars LCG regional coverage from the Preston regional, held in May 2014. This is the last round of Swiss, and we have on the left Paul playing as Darkside and Grinrod on the right playing as Jedi. And joining us on the commentary team today is Graham. How are you doing, Graham?
Very well, thanks. Thank you for having me back.
Pleasure, as always, sir. So, Imperial versus Jedi. Before a couple of the new pods have been released, a couple of the new objective sets. This is an odd matchup for that time in the meta. I thought not Jedi didn't have much love back then. I didn't think.
Yeah, not something I've seen very often. This matchup actually. Jedi Sith you can understand, even Jedi Scum I've seen, but Jedi Imperial this is going to be a very interesting match.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Grinrod is just running it for the affiliation and maybe has another 7 or 8 objectives in there from smugglers or rebels, perhaps.
Yes, quite possibly.
But Imperial Command, Endor Gambit, and another Endor Gambit. So it looks like pure Imperial for Paul on the left.
Yep. And Happy Walkers as well with the double refresh. So looking nice. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've got a defense Yavin 4 on the right. And Rebel Fleet. No, forgive me. That Blue Squadron support, beg your pardon.
So that's the B-Wing objective. So defensive Yavin 4 for cheaper vehicles. Blue Squadron for B-Wings. And
Heroes Resolve.
So that's Pilot Luke.
Yeah. So this is interesting because there could still potentially be speed pods in there, of course, that we haven't seen. But Pilot Luke does work relatively well on any fighter that you put him in. And obviously now in the context of ready for takeoff, Pilot Luke takes on a very different guise.
Indeed, yeah. I'd be definitely interested to see how they go back and treat the old pilot cards that were released before that expansion. But yeah, for sure. Luke actually gets out of the vehicle when it's destroyed as well.
Well, this is it. He already kind of, it's now an accepted mechanic of bailing out of vehicles. And we've had the bailout card spoiled for Scum, haven't we? So yeah, no, could be interesting this. What were the tactics damage as well that he confers to the vehicle when he's in it?
Yeah.
Those Endor Gambits could be working very hard.
So remind me, you're very much an Endor fan, aren't you? So remind me what we're looking at for the Endor pod?
So we are looking at a pair of ATSTs, an ATST commander, a target of opportunity, and the 5th card eludes me in that aft armor plating, which confers the shielding ability upon the vehicle in question. That looks like a forward command post to me. And an orbital resupply station. What a great start. So already those ATATs, ATAT assault formations, those are all costing 3 in the case of the ATATs, and if memory serves, 5 in the case of the assault formations.
And the forward command post is giving him extra objective damage if they're shielded, is it? Is that the one?
Yeah, I can't see that from here. I believe that is the case. There's the ATST, so that's entered play, draw the card. He's just been very good at reminding him.
Been helpful with the reactions. No, reactions are not mandatory, and your opponent is not obliged to inform you of them, so...
Hey, good sportsmanship on Grimrod's part. I can't object to that.
So, Imperial Command's a 5-2 with no text, but Endor Gambit, does that allow you to refresh vehicles?
Yeah, so what you can do at the start of your turn, you may remove a focus token from a target vehicle. It's basically a restricted motty. Obviously, where we've committed the ATST to the Force there, very, very useful next turn, or rather in turns later on, should the ATST decide to strike. Now, to answer your question about that command post, I'm just pulling up the card now. And I believe you were correct. Each shielded unit gains blast damage. So kind of the Imperial equivalent of preparation for battle.
Yeah, so a lot of shields kicking around in this walker deck from the ATATs and the ATST.
The ATST commander.
Yeah. It's a great blocker with 3 health, a card draw built in, and a couple of black icons. That's a decent card. 2 icons holding the Force as well.
No, it is. And I'm considering even running this pod, at least one of them, in a fighter deck, just because you've got that Endor Gambit refresh, you've got those ATSTs, you've got that aft armor plating.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of Fate cards in that hand there, unless I've missed something.
No, so I think Grinrod's triggered the Blue Squadron support there. The ability there is draw 2 cards, choose 1.
Choose 1, discard t'other. And of course, we have got a hidden outpost and a Y-Wing.
Turn 1 resources, always nice.
And those hidden outposts are going to be well supplemented by the Rebel Fighter Bay when it comes out. And there's a Tauntaun, of course, 1/1.
So again,
very nice.
Again, resources. There's some resource cards out there with no combat icons. You can't mock a Tauntaun for having the unit damage as well.
No, always useful as a last line. And what's lovely about that Y-Wing, always good to end an attack with. You follow up with it, you pile in with everything else, tie up all the defenders, and then you saunter on through the Y-Wing for hopefully 3 objective damage. And I'm looking at Battle of Hoth in hand there, and I can't see the rest at the moment.
So
playing his cards quite literally close to his chest. We're going forward with the Y-Wing already this early, obviously losing the edge battle. However, with what we've got in hand there, we've got at least a Battle of Hoth. That looks like a double strike.
Yeah, which is character only, I think.
Oh, hang on. Is he? Isn't he? Yeah. We've gone in with the double strike. So yeah, that's of very little use to him at the moment. I didn't see what we went in there with. The Battle of Hoth isn't going in. I didn't see what that was. We're about to find out. That's looking like a 2 or 3 icon stack at the moment.
Paul, now playing the Walker decks, are there many twists in that deck? We're about to find out.
No, I was just thinking that. It was a target of opportunity. So, wasted, unfortunately. But that looked like 2 for 2. And it was because we have then got the Commando coming in play. Because, of course, a Fate card has resolved. Yep. Nice card, that. So that is now participating in the engagement. I didn't see the final total on his cards. That looked like 2 for 2 and therefore tying for the defender. And yeah, here we go. Paul is going for the ATST first.
You've got to strike at the Y-Wing here, really. I guess we'll...
Yes. Yeah. Well, the Commando is going to get through 2 damage on the ATST plus the 1 on the objective. So it depends what Paul wants to lose. Because the ATST is going to take a big hit if he lets the Commando through. That appears to be what they're discussing. Yeah, if it was me at this early stage of the game, bearing in mind that the light side has to tank 3... Yeah, he's gone for the 1.
Yeah, the objective damage. It's the win condition for the light side for me. If there's not much in it, the higher objective damage gets the damage, I think. Should have double struck there with the unit being committed to the Force. Hopefully that gets caught, but not the biggest of issues if it doesn't. So now with a Tauntaun left, do you take the Force or do you swing in for an unopposed? Takes the Force, slowing that game down.
So they haven't noticed the double focus on the ATS. I mean, it's a moot point because it could well be that he has said, actually, my Endor Gambit does allow its double refresh. It is a moot point.
Yeah.
It doesn't violate the integrity of the game.
Balance stays with the light side. Dial up to 2, so it's looked like this game is starting to creep along.
There you go, he's just indicated it, and yeah, they've realised. But as the reaction on Endor Gambit says, it doesn't actually matter.
So Imperial Command stays tapped out because it was used twice last turn.
4 to call on with that orbital resupply station. Not bad. What has happened there? Has damage not been laid on the ATST that was supposed to have been? No, it hasn't. There we go. Very easy to do in these early stages of the game. New opponent, new decks, nervousness. These little things slip through. But so far, not a problem. What are we going with now?
Well, yeah, you've got to hope there's some more meaty units to come out there. One blocker, despite it being pretty reasonable on turn 1, you want to see that board flesh out in turn 2 for sure.
Well, fingers crossed. We've got an 1, 2, 3. I'm calling an ATAT.
There it is.
So brilliant. We've got options now. We've obviously got quite a decent amount of defence. If we do want to roll in for an edge-enabled attack, we can start raining some havoc down objectives. But it's the reaction that I especially like.
Getting rid of the enhancements.
So getting rid, in this case, of the hidden outpost, denying him that 1 extra resource. Duty officers come out. Always nice. 1 for 1. What has he tried to do there?
So
he's tried to pay for the duty officer with itself.
Well, I think he's paid 3 on his affiliation and 2 resources to get the ATAT out, because of course that only costs 3. So I don't know why the forward command post is tactics.
Yeah, that's what's happened.
Well, they might have missed it there. So.
Oh no! Yeah, he has missed that. He's paid 4 for the ATAT and has put a snow trooper in instead. I don't know how he's missed that.
Well, no, because the ATAT's only 3 with the orbital supply.
That's what I'm saying, mate. And then for some weird reason, instead of putting the duty officer out, he's put the ice tromper out, the snow trooper, when he could have just put the duty officer and paid for the snow trooper with it.
No, because I think, is he trying to pay for the duty officer with the forward command post, which is, I don't think it's an Imperial resource generator.
course it is, and that's exactly what has happened. So he can only pay for the Snow Trooper.
Good catch there. Resource match, not something that everyone picks up on. So good catch there by Grinrod.
For the 8, now. So we're putting the shield on.
And going for an engagement. You've got to assume here he's just striking at an objective to be able to trigger the reaction and get rid of the resource enhancement. That would be my play here.
And of course the shield gives it the extra blast damage, so Grinrod has just counted up the icons and realised that there is a third non-edge enabled icon in the offing. No defenders declared, target of opportunity. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage on Hero's Resolve.
Unopposed is 5.
Yeah. Of course it is. Understandable, because actually what he's unwittingly done there is, yes, okay, it gives a Force icon to his side of the Force, but he's actually helped him out there by getting rid of the Jedi Resource Generator. His hope now is to draw up a Rebel objective. I tend to avoid that. If I know that I'm running against someone with a split deck, I leave their minority objectives alone, because that is actually going to make their time more difficult.
Yep, for sure. And obviously we're not yet in the kind of meta stage to be able to see tri-colour decks coming out. So
no, interesting idea. Something I've tried. Doesn't work yet. Who knows? It might do. It might do one day. So balance goes back to the dark side.
Yeah, it's good to see. And the objective destruction is
mobilise the squadrons.
Yeah, so there's 2 resources that we're going to see coming out of Grinrod.
Also trench run, covering fire, some X-wings, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think what the rest of that pod entails. It's not a heroic sacrifice. That's in the Rebel fleet.
Or if that's the is there a second Rebel assault in Mobilised Squadrons?
I've got a sneaking suspicion there is, even though the Rebel assault can't be used against the Death Star if you trench run it.
No.
So it's a bit of a weird pod. That I've had people say to me it's a useless pod. Actually, the double refresh on Mobiliser Squadrons is very nice. Something Imperial Command doesn't have. I think there are some Meritus cards in there. There's Maydeen.
That's going to be a powerful card. A lot of tricks can be played with Grinrod now. So using the resources straight away to get a B-Wing out.
This is the 4th Rebel card that can generate 3 resources. The others being Frozen Refuge, I believe Fleet Command Centre, and I want to say Safe House is the other one. So Maydeen is now the 4th, and there's the X-Wing.
So starting to get a strong board there. Lots of units for Paul to have to worry about blocking. The B-Wing, obviously a great vehicle upgrade. It's basically an upgraded Y-Wing with more health.
But sadly not as potent as it could be, given its reaction. The fact that in 2v2 or against a challenge deck, it allows that draw of cards. And I think it is just a real shame that doesn't filter back through to the 1v1 game.
That would be insane. It wouldn't cost 2, I don't think, if that was...
No. But then, in fairness, you have... I know they're a lot more fragile. You have A-Wings. They do your card draw as well. Yeah, interesting. We've got units on both sides of the board that are allowing full card draw in theory. Obviously, the ATST actually gets it. There's some sort of decision going on here. What looks like at least 2 fake cards in there. If I'm not mistaken, a Battle of Hoth.
Crix does refresh focus off him when a fake card's revealed.
I see what's going on here. I can't see what that is, but it's 2 Force icons. I want to say that. I don't know, you tell me. I can't see. But we're going for the attack.
See, so he's blocking with the Trooper and the ATST.
So he's going to leave himself focused out and therefore at the mercy of the Commando unopposed. The edge card's gone in. He hasn't got any Hoth objectives out at the moment, so if that Battle of Hoth gets played, which I strongly suspect it has been, its actual effect isn't going to be of any use here.
No, it's just 3 edge icons, which is beautiful, to be honest.
Of course, it's fantastic. So, and of course, Stay on Target now joins as the 9th fake card, and that was a Heat of Battle. So there we are. We're pointing at Crix. We have the double refresh. Of course, we do. Very beautifully played. 5 edge icons to none. So
the Heat of Battle can take care of the Trooper, and both units can strike and kill. To be honest, I'd probably Heat of Battle the ATST and strike and kill it instantly, because you know the Trooper.
Yeah, because the Trooper can't fire.
It's not got no icons.
He's got rid of the turbo laser battery.
That was an edge card.
Oh, beg your pardon. He did play that in his edge stack. Yeah, I did wonder where that had come from. Okay, so he's gone for the ATST as you predicted. Oh, heroic sacrifice. Burning up the X-Wing. Very sensible, but why? What for? And the ATST is gone. Oh, hang on.
Oh, oh, oh.
No, hang on.
Oh, we forget. Heat of battle. Should have done the second. He should have struck for the third with the X-Wing.
Yeah, but what he wants to do now, I think there's some dispute over whether he can now heroic sacrifice the X-Wing after having made it strike. And the agreement seems to be that the AT-AT's gone.
Ah, interesting. I didn't know. Might have to check the wording on heroic strike. I thought that was just
I'm going to do
sacrifice
that
a vehicle
right now.
to.
Heroic sacrifice. Sacrifice a vehicle unit to destroy a target enemy vehicle unit with printed cost 4 or lower. So he could have legitimately struck against the ATST for 1 damage and killed it,
Yep.
then burned up the X-Wing to destroy the AT-AT, and then struck against the Snowtrooper. I'm not entirely sure why he's played it that way.
We will see. We will see. So moving on, the B-Wing striking for the 3rd damage on the ATST, leaving the Trooper alive, it looks like.
Yeah, not that the Trooper can do anything, but the B-Wing has now taken a damage from the ATST, which I don't think it needed to.
No, but and critically, the Trooper is now not being killed by the B-Wing. It's going to prevent the unopposed. So the B-Wing goes back, does some damage, as B-Wings tend to do. But
harsh lesson in making sure that things are played in the correct order.
But Crick's now available for an engagement if he wants to be.
Tactics damage, very useful. Tie up that Snowtrooper again. Not that it's much of a threat at the moment, particularly if you're not winning edge battles, as you tend not to, as the dark side, I find. You can chuck those Twists of Fate in there. You get the odd edge card, but I tend to find it's the light side that tends to follow up on them.
Yeah.
So Crix is going in. So we've got that 1 unit damage, which is obviously not going to do anything at this juncture. We've got the base damage, the tactics damage. So we're getting 2 unopposed.
Plus the tactics on the Trooper.
And we've gone for the other Endor Gambit. And we don't appear to have gone for the unopposed. Which is even more confusing still. No.
They're stacked, but yeah, it looks like there's only 1 there. Well, technically, you do place your 1 from your engagement, and then at the end of it, you place the 2nd. So I was wondering if it was coming down the line, but no, that does seem to have been missed. So
that's been missed as well.
Fortunate there, Grinrod. Checking your phone. That's not going to help you. So a new set of cards in the hand for Paul on the left. A Trooper that should remove a focus, but is still out for this turn. And with the resources all back available now from Imperial Command and the forward command post and supply station, could be an explosive turn for the Imperials.
So what have we got there? We're looking at 6, if my maths isn't faulty, plus the orbital resupply station. You could get an assault formation out for 5.
Yep.
There's the duty officer that should have been out last turn. Could have been thrown under the bus to prevent the unopposed that should have happened for the light side. So actually, those little... Hey, nice. Yo, dog, we heard you like duty officers, etc.
Resources definitely ramping up here, so the Imperial player is not going to have any problems for resources later in the game.
No.
This could get out of hand quite quickly for Grinrod.
But it is just worth wondering, what if those 2 plays? I mean, actually, you've had missed opportunity on both sides, so I should think it balances out. But I suppose it does just, the tournament setting, yes, there's the time limit, and yes, there's the expectation of speed, but I think it's still a lesson, and it does pay to just make sure that you are taking a moment to check, have I remembered everything?
Yeah, it's one of those, it's the odd psychology of being under pressure, whether we're in a tournament or another environment. But Blizzard Force ATST, 1 health shielding, 1 blast damage.
It needs that shielding with that 1 health, I tell you. But quite nice when actually you've got the shields down on there. You've got that blast damage. Again, it's a bit like a Y-Wing. It's nice to follow through on the back of an attack with. So what else have we got here? We've put that down. Got a duty officer down. So we're still sitting on 1, 2, 3 resources, 4 resources. So in theory,
another Blizzard Force.
Another Blizzard Force. So nice to have his defenders, of course, because you can pop shields on the objectives being engaged. Anything that slows down the light side is going to be very welcome. What is the next play?
Still 2 open, so there's no AT-ATs, there's no big hitters coming out. I think I see an aggressive assault in the hand. I don't know what the second card is.
I was going to say, it could be a Morsh Moren, in which case that's something that really does need to get down, because that unopposed bonus of 2 is very nice to have. We're going for the payment. It's 2.
Aggressive
There it
assault,
is.
so 1,
What a
2 each.
wonderful card.
Not turning any abilities off on the objectives, I don't think,
No.
but nice to get a good spread of damage on them.
It's brilliant in 2v2. Absolutely devastating in 2v2, in fact, that card.
I think actually in a Walker deck, it's nice to get a good spread of damage on your opponent's objectives because of, is it Colonel Stark gets more powerful when he's attacking?
Yes, he does, and the assault formation itself. It only works against Hoth objectives, but I believe damages each other Hoth objective. It's basically home one, Hoth flavoured, if you will. So we've finished the turn by the looks of it, or have we?
I don't know. I think we're just Paul was catching up on the Death Star dial that should have ticked up by 1 at the start.
Yeah.
So the dial is on 4, 3 turns plus 1 objective destroyed, so that stacks up.
I think it is nice that they're not hammering each other for these missed opportunities. They're not denying them to each other. I think that just makes everybody's game happier. It's good sportsmanship.
It's a good call. I think that my experience going to all these regionals and recording them, they're all very much the local group of players that see each other week in, week out, and know what the game's about and having fun. So.
Looking like not a lot else is going on. There's still this mystery card in hand. We saw the aggressive assault played.
Don't think there's any in hand for Grinrod, so that card is a free win in an edge battle.
It is. There's some sort of discussion going on here.
Looks like the turn has been passed. Listening to Grinrod, he's mulling over doing a damage to an objective.
Yep, there it goes.
So unless he's missed the damage.
Yeah, see again, you wouldn't have got a lot from that. You could have followed through with the 2 ATSTs, 3 damage at best, assuming no defence. At worst, you've got Maydeen there. I mean, it could have gone very badly. So I think that's a good call at this stage.
Surprised the Blizzard Force ATSTs didn't commit to the Force and take it back off the Tauntaun.
Very true. Yeah, because you have only got that single. No, because you haven't even got Heroes Resolve there anymore, so you have only got that single Tauntaun. I'm seeing a Rebel Assault there.
Yep.
Fleet Command Centre, B-Wing.
Fallback, I think, is that as well?
Yeah, he's held on to whatever that card is in the middle. He's held on to that, unless he's drawn up another one.
Another B-Wing.
So goes another B-Wing.
Heavy-hitting fighters. Medine and the Fleet Command Centre for 6 resources above and beyond his objective, so he's got a lot to work with here.
He's got 11 resources. That's pretty staggering for a light side there.
And Crix will refresh and refresh every time he sees a fake card. So,
and remind me, that's both sides of the divide, isn't it?
Yeah, every time a fake card's revealed in any stack. So yeah, he can spend all 3 and then be bouncing back next turn, ready to use again. No problem.
And of course, we talked about this before, didn't we? In Frozen in Carbonite, if you go back to that hit and run pod, you have those secret informants. Even a single fake card could clear up Crix entirely. I think that's going to be a very interesting combination. So we're going forward with Crix and one of his commandos. Wise move, since the ATSTs can't actually do anything about it. Is he going to chuck them in so he can shield the objective? Chuck them in so he can shield them?
I think it depends what objective he's gunning for here. I think if you shield the objectives, the ATSTs are going to die.
Shield at least absorbs the unopposed.
Yeah, but I guess the dark side player's only got one edge card, so you're fairly confident you can win this edge battle as the light side. No shields being placed, so unless we've missed that, target of opportunity does a damage. So
Motti. So the edge does go to the dark side, but again, we've missed the shielding.
So we're going on Imperial
Command.
Command.
Damage need not have been done.
There we go.
No, they're going on there.
Interesting.
Well, of course, by keeping the ATSTs in the engagement, the unopposed damage can't be dealt. 6.5 dozen the other at this stage.
Yeah. Looks like Crix is striking. You can use. Oh no, the commando first for 2 unit damage and an objective.
No, because the edge was
Oh,
lost.
Motti won. Yeah, so just the one.
So no, it's
So
just the one. The
shield
goes
goes.
off. What's the betting? That's going to get tacticsed up. Another damage.
So HST strikes, does nothing. Cricks
Yeah,
kills one.
kills one, tactics the other.
And the shield can counter the tactics.
But he's chosen not to allow it to. Probably, yeah, that's interesting.
It's keeps the shield on the ATST, and he wasn't going to strike anyway to do any damage. So, interesting way, making sure that ATST keeps some health around in case of rebel assault or any other damage coming its way.
We're following up with the B wing, or are we?
Well, no blockers available for the dark side, so the B wings here can do some damage.
Shame he hasn't got blue leader out. That would be a boon right now. You could get rid of a couple of objectives very nearly.
Well, I think those B-Wings are both taking an Endor Gambit each, which is quite thematic. The B-Wings turning up at Endor. I like that.
Yep. And that is indeed the case. Those are gone. So already in one move. Two objectives. Oh.
So from out of nowhere, B-Wings...
That was extraordinary. I'd completely forgotten I've only had that in hand. And that is, in my experience, a very typical light side play. Bide, and then all of a sudden, bang, out of absolutely nowhere, 3 objectives, 1, 2, 3, straight after each other. That was explosive.
Dial at 4. No masses of big hitters out of the Walker deck, which potentially is downfall there, but a great start, just slowed down in the mid-game.
I suppose Blitzkrieg is the only word for it, that last turn. Quite incredible.
Yeah, dial at 4. Dial at 4 is the light side. So Grinrod's now going to switch and play as dark. He's just going to get the dial at 5 to take a modified win. So let's plough into game 2 and see how it plays.